reading my story, Chasing Rainbows. Chapter 12, Nostalgic Reunions. She hugged Sarah and held out her hand to Kathleen. It's high time we made tracks for home. I do wish you congratulations on your engagement, and you must come to tea one day. She smiled. Yet she could not help but find the situation somewhat inexplicable. Before Gerald had left for America, he had made no mention of this bond that had been formed so many years before. It was all rather mysterious. The happiness was a joy to behold. She felt a stab of pain as she recalled the brief relationship she had shared with Joseph. And yet there was something odd here that didn't add up. As she turned to leave, Kathleen gently touched her arm. Please don't go just yet, she said quietly. Their eyes met, and suddenly Jess was aware of a shiver running through her body. She hesitated and felt afraid, though she could not imagine why. Jess, come sit down next to me. Kathleen patted the cushion upon the chair. Jess frowned, wondering what was to follow. Sensing they needed some privacy, Sarah tactfully went into the scullery to make a brew of tea, and very gently Kathleen began to reveal the secret that she had carried within her heart for so many years. As she finished speaking, Jess got to her feet, her whole body trembling. There was a tight feeling in her chest, and she felt as if her head was spinning. She felt stunned by this news. Somehow she found her voice. You must be crazy, she gasped. I was abandoned as a baby. Why have you never come forward until now? She struggled to restrain the hot anger that was bubbling to the surface. I hoped to break the news gently. Perhaps I've been too impetuous and tactless. And yes, there were many times I wished I could seek you out, Kathleen admitted with tears in her voice. But Jess was too angry to listen. Casting a look of pure disdain towards Kathleen, she brushed past the apprehensive woman who claimed to be her mother. I need more explanation than that to convince me. Right now I want some fresh air, she muttered as she made her way out into the garden. Kathleen put her hand out and tried to stop her, but she pushed her away. Sarah came into the kitchen, tactfully placed an arm around Kathleen's shoulders. Give her time to come to terms with it. You mustn't expect miracles. I couldn't help pull her ear in. It's a surprise, that's for sure. Kathleen nodded, teardrops trembling upon her lashes, her face overshadowed with sadness. I fear she will never forgive me, so I do. How will I ever make amends? Sarah smiled gently as she cradled her in her arms. Give her time to accept it. She has been through a lot, you know, maid, she soothed. Kathleen felt too choked with emotion to reply, and she sobbed in Sarah's arms. She felt she should never have come here. Jess stumbled blindly out into the garden, tears stinging her eyes, her heart hammering wildly against her ribs. She ran through the woods, hardly aware of where she was, scratching her arms upon brambles as she went. She suddenly found herself climbing up towards Moot Hill, her nostrils filled with the perfume of wild flowers that grew all around her. Jess climbed until she could go no further, and then she sank down upon the soft bracken, her breath coming in great gulps. As she became calmer and her breathing returned to normal, she tried to piece together all that Kathleen had told her. All her life she had been on her own, without the protection of a mother and father's love, so often longing for the comfort of a mother's embrace, a tender word, Of course the nuns had been kind, despite the strict routine, but it had been nothing akin to the bond she would have formed within the protection of a real family. For years she had lain awake at night in the dormitory, trying to understand why she had been abandoned. What had happened to make her mother run away? When Father O'Leary tactfully explained how she had been found wrapped in a blanket on the doorstep of the cathedral, she had tried so hard to understand. Yet the more she dwelt upon the circumstances of her birth, the more angry she became. As she grew older, she began to grow a protective shell, not allowing herself to become attached to anyone, or indeed to let anyone grow close to herself. That is, until she met Joseph, and then all the barriers were dissolved in the radiance of his love. Only then had she permitted him to awaken her heart and soul to the glory of love. Sadly, to find herself abandoned once again, stripped of all the trust and emotional security she had discovered within the circle of his embrace, cast out from the protective warmth of his love into a dark pit of despair and misery, she had given up for a while. In the harsh reality of her personal torment, her heart had shattered into a million pieces. Only the knowledge that she carried his child had given her the strength to overcome her grief. Yet it had taken years for her broken spirit to mend and to rebuild her confidence. Now, just when she had begun to recover, her world had been turned upside down. How could Kathleen suddenly turn up and proclaim to be her mother? Why, Sarah had proved herself to be more worthy of Jess's affections these past few years. Jess could hardly bring herself to accept Kathleen as her natural mother. Her whole being rebelled against it, and she trembled with anger. How dare she presume to intrude upon her life, expecting to be forgiven and made welcome? She had previously been crouching upon the ground, arms wrapped around herself. Now she rose up and took a deep breath as she looked around at the beauty that lies stretched out in the rolling hills before her. The sheer wildness and vastness of it all. She felt acutely aware of how insignificant she really was. Tears sprang to her eyes, and she wiped them away with the back of her hand. She must be strong and resolute. She smoothed back her tangled hair and began to walk down from the hilltop. She felt calmer now, able to cope, despite her mixed emotions. Jess suddenly realized she must choose to claim these two strangers as her parents and be prepared for whatever life held in store, or keep her independent. It was not an easy